Welcome back to Hedgehog Studios. I'm your host, Chaconi, and we're finally back from summer vacation. So I don't really see a distinction there. Anyway, I'm actually excited about today's subject matter. Don't get me wrong, I don't really expect it to be good or anything. But when I was originally planning this show and getting ready to review Black Death, I had meant for I Am Omega to be my third review and today's subject to be my second. I started watching it on Netflix and got about 15 minutes in, but something came up, so I had to stop. I came back the next day, and it was no longer available on Netflix streaming. Calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean. Anywho, after about 3 months, it came back to streaming. So let's go ahead and take a look into The Void.
But you will also be expected to straddle the razor-thin line.
Why am I looking forward to today's subject? Well, because it's got 3 of my favorite sci-fi stars in it. Amanda Tapping from Stargate SG-1, Adrian Paul from The Highlander, and Malcolm McDowell from tons of cool stuff. It's also a disaster movie, and I love disaster movies almost as much as I love zombie movies. Our film starts at a research facility in Luxembourg, where they're attempting to use a super collider to get limitless free energy from, let's just say, science. But one man is concerned that they're not ready.
Facility locked down, all personnel in position.
The hell, this isn't the bathroom. The concerned Dr. Soderstrom argues with Dr. Abernathy, played by Malcolm McDowell, who is conducting the experiment via webcam from his secure undisclosed location.
I'm well, Vera. I trust we're ready to go.
Nothing says confidence in your experiment like being 5,000 miles away. Is everything ready to conduct the experiment? We're just waiting on the facility director to arrive. There he is. So Abernathy has Soderstrom restrained, because nothing says evil like ordering your jackbooted security guys around from an LCD monitor. Then we have random tech shout out science stuff to prove science.
Initiate beam dump. Fill the anti-proton storage.
Reaffirm readiness of collision detectors.
Collision detectors reaffirmed.
Tube magnets ready, then.
So the facility starts to shake, and Soderstrom tries to stop it. But Abernathy, who can't see any of the data on the monitors, knows better. They lose containment of the mini black hole they created, and Abernathy tells them not to evacuate because he's just batting 1,000 so far. Then the facility locks down.
Panic! Panic! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
The facility gets eaten by the black hole and everyone dies. Well, except Webcam Boss. We then jump forward 8 years to where the Highlander is teaching an engineering class and dating Amanda Tapping. He's also working at a company called Philodyne that's researching the same project from the beginning of the movie. So, you know, good times. But all is not as it seems, as his girlfriend has a hidden agenda. Is Eva, played by Amanda Tapping, an industrial saboteur? A government plant? Or could it have to do with her having the same last name as the doctor from the beginning and trying to stop the black hole experiment? I'll give you a hint, it's the third one!
My access is restricted.
So's your sense of humor. Come on, Stephen, help me out here.
So Eva tricks Stephen the Highlander into giving her access to Philodyne's restricted files. Because he's a giant doof. Oh good lord, look at that. Zip disks? How old is this movie? The action then ramps up as Eva feeds her chameleon and analyzes data. Whew. We also meet Eva's blind friend, who is here, I'm sure, in no way to be the movie's sacrificial lamb to show us later that stuff just got real, yo. Then we have an exposition dump. Eva wants revenge for her father's death. Or justice. Or just venge. Or whatever. Oh, shut up.
What am I supposed to say? Hey, Stephen, your boss at Philodyne killed my father, and with your help, I intend to prove it. Or you can have the box that Carol's showing you on the floor.
Ooh, I'll take what's in the box.
What's in the box?
Now Eva has fallen for Stephen, but she doesn't know how to tell him she's been using him.
Jacobson tells me we're still having problems powering up the proton storage rate.
Oh man, McDowell can make anything sound sinister. I'd love to hear him ordering Chinese food. In her research, Eva comes across the name of one Dr. Lazarus, who sounds like he's one leaky nuclear experiment away from becoming a supervillain. You know, I'm pretty sure Malcolm McDowell already is a supervillain who only moonlights as an actor. Yeah, that look tells me the rest of the script just arrived in her email. Actually, after a long scene of her doing math, she realizes the project's unstable and speeds off to tell Steven.
I guess I wasted your time.
And we have the tagline for the movie poster. Steven doesn't like being used. Go figure. Eva then goes to see Dr. Lazarus, who reveals that her father wasn't part of a clean energy research project, but rather a weapons research project that went kaboom. Eva becomes concerned that Abernathy is pursuing the same research. He's not, he's actually dying, and wants to leave a shiny new energy source as his legacy. He's also getting funding from the Atomic Energy Commission, which is quite a trick that we'll get to in a minute. Only Eva and Dr. Lazarus realize he's using flawed calculations that'll cause another big boom.
The AEC.
Atomic Energy Commission?
The AEC no longer exists. The agency was dissolved in 1974, and its functions rolled into two new agencies: the Energy Research and Development Administration, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Way to fact-check your screenplay, guys! Lazarus calls Abernathy to warn him about the flawed calculations, so Abernathy does the only rational thing: sends a hired assassin after Lazarus. Meanwhile, Eva's blind friend is watching her chameleon. You know what I mean. Then Eva returns home, and you know what that means? Another long exposition dump. Yeah! They explain that the black holes created will then explode. It's not how I understand black holes, but I'm also not a physicist, so we'll just have to go with it. I'm sure the Crackerjack research team who wrote this movie couldn't have possibly gotten that wrong. Atomic Energy Commission! Eva tries to see Dr. Abernathy, but gets kicked out of Philodyne. She was also supposed to meet Dr. Lazarus there, but he doesn't show up, because, well, let's just say he doesn't live up to his name. Excuse me while I squeeze through here my panicked escape. This is what happens when you hire your assassins at Assassins for Less. Since Abernathy is dying and this is his last chance to blow people up, make clean energy to blow people up, and since the assassin he hired was a putz, he spares no expense on a cleanup crew. When Eva returns to Lazarus' house with the cops, there's no sign of a dead guy, a struggle, a car accident out back, a second dead guy, so say a good cleanup crew. Or maybe Canadian cops just suck, I don't know. Then we have this actor, Roger R. Cross, who I would like to nominate as a patron saint of TV sci-fi. He's been in The X-Files, Stargate, Enterprise, First Wave, Chuck, Eureka, Arrow, and Continuum, even going all the way back to Sliders. When it was good. The grisly disappearing murder scene gets the estranged lovers back together, and then we have a gratuitous sex scene. But at this point in the movie I just can't care. Besides, PG-13 nudity doesn't interest me. I have the internet. We do find out, though, that Steven got grilled by Abernathy about his girlfriend.
You know that we're working on highly classified research for the Atomic Energy Commission.
No, you're not! Ah!
Could mean boundless energy for our country.
That makes no sense. Explain. How could he be... Okay, what evidence do you have that he's a time traveler? That has nothing to do... You're an idiot. Then we have yet another exposition dump, this time explaining the science of how a mini black hole could destroy the Earth. Now, if you have the Discovery Channel, you already have this information from one of the dozen or so shows they have about how the Earth will end, that they cram between marathons of Honey Boo Boo. We find out the world-ending experiment happens in the morning, so after 50 minutes of film we may finally get some action. They then return to Eva's apartment to get her findings, where they discover her blind friend dead. Yes, that's right. Abernathy must have gotten a 2-for-1 deal on incompetent assassins at Assassins Are Us. Well, that is true. So the cops don't believe Eva and Steven. And the world-ending experiment's about to start, leaving them no choice but to break into Philodyne to do... something. Their careers as super spies are short-lived, however, at about 3 minutes when they set off an alarm. Unable to escape the way they got in, that leaves them only one movie cliché. Option. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, giant air ducts. When you get right down to it, is there a better way to travel around a building? No. No, there is not. Oh, and in the unlikely event you haven't overdosed on cliches by now, Steven's claustrophobic.
So how do you get to be claustrophobic? Are you born that way, or is it because you're kind of sissy?
Sissy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, can we just change the subject, please?
Now they can't leave until they sabotage the experiment, so they head to the super collider controls. And you can cut the tension with a pair of pliers. Ooh, this deserves appropriate music. Ankle in the fight, because, well, he's kind of useless. Then they're taken to see Dr. Abernathy. No. Actually, that's close enough. Let's just move on. The lovers are then tied up to await the end of the world. Now, on to the experiment, where we get the excitement of signing forms, doing computer pre-checks, and pushing buttons.
Clear all evac.
Commence primary ignition.
No. Well, actually, again, that's close enough. So they create the singularity and it goes off without a hitch. I'm just kidding. They totally lose containment. But instead of burrowing into the Earth's crust like expected, the black hole decides to hang around and totally suck. Abernathy orders Eva and Steven brought to the control room because you gotta get them back in this movie somehow. So the black hole is oddly picky about what it pulls in, instead of being an indiscriminate force of nature. Also, the event horizon of the black hole can move around the complex at will to wherever's most convenient to threaten the main characters. So Eva and Steven come up with a technobabble plan to stop the black hole, which they pretty much pull out of their black hole. But in the end, there's nothing that can be done. And Abernathy tries to buy them time to escape, which results in the most serene death scene I have ever seen. Yay, I'm going for a ride! Whee! You see Eva get to Steven, and they proceed to make their escape, but then the facility explodes. We then cut to a graveyard for an epilogue, and find Eva and Steven survived, even though there's no way they could have escaped in the time given. And that was The Void. Pardon the pun, but this movie sucked. I love the actors who starred in this, but this was just awful. The acting and direction were bland and boring. What action there was, well, just wasn't. The fights were badly choreographed, and the plot was nonsensical. And then there was the science. Oh, God, the bad science. So, Hedgehog scale time. I think we've hit a new low, people. I have to give this movie a my eyes are bleeding. And that's all I've got. So, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time.
Are you okay?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
We're sending help immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
See? Protect yourself with Life Call and you're never alone. To get complete free information by mail about this affordable medical emergency response system, call toll-free now.